Okay, I'm going to be going over my guitar that I've been working on and all the modifications I've done to the electronics under the pickguard and on the back. And you'll see why I say on the back here in a minute. So this is my guitar. It is a Squier Affinity Stratocaster I bought in 2017 for about 60 bucks. Transparent blue, white plastics. The neck is a replacement. I just like the look of the maple more than I did the rosewood, especially with this blue on white. I think it just looks beautiful. Everything about this guitar is custom. There's the only thing left that's stock. The screws keeping the strap buttons on and the wood. And even that's debatable because I've done substantial modifications to the wood under the pickguard. So the first thing I've done is installed a Gilmour switch. This is in reference to David Gilmour of Pink Floyd, and what it does is when you click it on, it activates the neck pickup in any position you're in. So position 1 is normally your bridge. If you have it turned on, it's now bridge and neck, which is my favorite place to play. If you have it in position 2, it's all 3 pickups on at the same time. So I'll give you a listen to what that sounds like. Let me point my microphone towards my amp. This is just the bridge. Harsh, lots of treble, bridge pickup. We all know what they sound like. You put the switch on. That's much better. So that was the first modification I did to this guitar. It's very easy to do. It's just a button, a latching toggle button that you have to splice in between a wire coming off of your selector switch going down to, I want to say your volume, but do not quote me on that. So next is this little bit up here. This pot is to a 7-minute fuzz from DIYguitarpedals.com.au. He's an Australian guy. He sells pedal kits, but unfortunately he has said he's going to be closing down his shop soon because of health issues. So if you're out there, brother, I'm praying for you. God be with you. I hope everything's all right. If in the future you can't buy these kits anymore, they are incredibly easy to build. You just have to order the parts separately in a little bit of tag board, and you can solder it together yourself. Altogether, it's about the size of my guitar pick. It's really small, really, really small. So what I had to do was take my output wire that goes off the volume to the output jack, and instead I ran it up to this switch, to the middle of the switch. Now what this does is when it's up, it has a wire that goes straight to the output. But if I press it in, the signal is then diverted up to the fuzz. And it's powered by a battery box on the back, I'll show you in a minute, that is activated with this toggle. So, in order to get to the fuzz, you have to press down the switch, flip up the toggle, and now you get nice fuzzy distortion. Now you may be listening to that and thinking, oh, that sounds like there's something a little more than distortion. And you would be correct, because that's what I did next. On the back, you'll notice I have hardtailed the bridge, and in place of the spring and the claws, I put a circuit board. Now, this is a Synthrotech Dev delay, and it is a delay kit that uses a little computer chip. I forgot the exact one. I think it's like a PT2933 or something like that. I'd have to check, but I can't be bothered because this is my 7th time trying to record this video, and I've been interrupted every single time. So what I did is, off of this one, instead of going straight to the output, I wired it to the input of the delay. And then I took and ran wires from my delay up to my potentiometers. But you may be thinking, wait a minute, aren't your potentiometers already controlling the volume and tone of your guitar? How would you be able to do that? Well, I had to build custom potentiometers. They're called a dual stacked potentiometer. And basically, here's a pot that's already been tore down. It's two stacked on top of each other. So you get two sets of controls on the same knob footprint. I'll show you them right here. Let me turn that volume down. You can see there's this top brass section, or steel section. Then there's this brass section down below. The top shaft controls the bottom pickup, and the brass one controls the top. The way I have this wired is so my volume control and tone controls for the guitar are going to be the top knob, and then my feedback, mix, and my time for my delay are controlled with the bottom knob. And I don't have them on right now because they're a little too oversized, and I have to make something to sleeve the inside so they'll properly fit and not bind up on each other. So I had to build custom pots. How did I do that? Well, the way your potentiometer works, and I'll use this one that's already disassembled, there's a shaft that goes down into it and connects to a wiper. Imagine it like the speedometer on a car. It goes across as the more you rev your engine. Well, what does it contact with? What does that wiper contact with? It's this little brown disc in here that has a resistance track made out of a resistor material. So that's what a potentiometer is. It is a resistor. It's a variable resistor. How far you turn it depends on, it correlates to how much resistance you get in your circuit. So what I had to do was take it apart, steal the proper value resistor off of the one that I bought, and put it onto the dual concentric stacked potentiometer, whatever you want to call it, clamp it back together, Frankenstein it. I had to take the wipers on the inside and bend them up so they would make proper contact when they were pressed down and held into place. And then I soldered up my guitar controls and then my delay controls. And the end result is this right here. Turn my volume back up. Fuzz and delay, which is typically what I play with. So the controls for it, I forgot exactly what each one does. I'm going to have to go look on the inside and figure out which wires go to what, and actually probably make a label or something. I might put it on my little CNC mill and have it carve it in really small, or I could just use masking tape and a Sharpie. But I think the top knob controls the time, like the time between your repeats. The middle knob controls the feedback, which would be how many repeats you get. You can set it to like just one or two, or indefinitely, and they get louder and louder and louder and louder. And the bottom one controls your wet-dry signal mix. So, for example, here's my current settings. Turn the microphone over towards the amp and do it again. If I mix this up, let's see, I'll turn that down. I believe this is my time. Yeah, you can hear it. It's really close together. Let's go about halfway. Really fast now, but I like a slow, just a little bit of delay. Like that's a little too many echoes for me. So if I go down to the next knob, let me turn that down. Almost there. That's about what I like to play with. If I were to turn it all the way up, you'll hear you get feedback like crazy. So you don't want to do that. Instead, let me go to about right here. Now turn it up. You can do kind of cool swells with that and control like intensity and volume going back and forth on that. That's your feedback knob. And then the final one is the mix between wet and dry. And I don't really mess a whole lot with that, so. Although I kind of like that sound. Let's go down a little more. Yeah. So that's the basics of it. Let me go back to about where I like to play. Yeah, so that's the basics of the circuit. I got a battery box installed on the back. What I did was I ran the hot wire up to this toggle and then to here and then back around to the fuzz circuit. And I kind of did the opposite for the negative. I basically ran the negative end up to here, then back around to here, and just kept it as that. Then I had to ground the proper wires on each circuit into my potentiometers and all that. And after enough trial and error, it worked perfectly. And I am so happy that it did, because I hate having to haul around pedals and a pedal board everywhere I go that I want to play. Now, does this mean I'm probably going to have to buy a couple more batteries than normal because I forgot to shut off my switch? Probably. But you know what? I don't care. This is cool. I just love messing with stuff. Tinkering with stuff is what I do best. I love building guitars. I've built about 10 of them so far. And Eddie Van Halen said, you can do anything you want. It's music theory, not music fact. So go ahead and try it. If you have a crazy idea, don't let it stop you just because you may think, oh, well, that's never going to work. Who knows? It may work. It may be amazing. You may figure out how to put effects pedals inside your guitar, just like I did. And I'm not any sort of professionally trained pedal builder or guitar builder. I'm just a moron who does this out of his kitchen for fun. And if I, as stupid as I am, can do it, you guys can too. So, yeah, that's my video. I gotta get going because it's almost 11 p.m. and I gotta be up in the morning for work, so take it easy.